Welcome to How Do They Afford That's Budget Battle, where we each take a money tip from a listener and go head-to-head. I'm Michael Thompson, and hello, Canna Campbell.
Good morning.
Now, Canna, we have a judge every week to decide whose tip is the best. The judge this week is my colleague from the Fear and Greed Business News podcast, Sean Aylmer. Sean, hello.
Hello, Michael. Hello, Canna.
Good morning, Sean.
All right, let's get straight into it. Canna, would you like to go first this week?
Oh, why, thank you, Michael. Yes, I would. And I'd like to go first as I continue on my winning streak. So, Sean, I've become a bit of a home renovator. I'm looking at just, making a few little tweaks and changes around the home. And I have discovered that I can actually hire my own equipment instead of having to pay thousands to builders. So, for example, floor sanding. Floor sanding is quite expensive, and in fact, I can actually go to Bunnings and hire my own floor sanding equipment, a professional grade floor sanding equipment, might I add, for the price of $61 for 4 hours instead of spending up to $7,000 to get someone to do this for me. So huge savings in that. And whilst perusing the Bunnings website, examining all the different equipment I can hire, it also includes carpet cleaning, trailers, and skips. There's just so much you can do yourself to save thousands.
Like it.
I don't. I have a tip from Juanita, who it's both a tip and a mindset, actually. So it should win automatically because you're getting a 2-for-1 here. What Juanita does is deliberately keep her transactions account empty, right? So when she has to pay for things, she has to transfer that money out of her other account into the transaction account, and then she can pay. And yes, it sounds a little bit fiddly. And maybe you'll end up annoying people behind you in the line at Coles or Woolies when you're standing there doing a transfer. But it is a good idea. Why is it such a good idea? Because it is all about accountability, being accountable to yourself and asking yourself, before you make the transfer, do I actually need this? Do I actually want to spend this money? And if the answer is yes, then go for it. Transfer and then pay. It adds another step into the process, but it slows you down and encourages more mindful spending. It's essentially a digital version of cash, right? The old principle of if you pay in cash, then it's harder to hand over actual money. And so you think about it, it's a more meaningful purchase. It's harder to do that than it is to just tap and go. This is the modern equivalent of that. Juanita swears by this. And I think it's a great tip. Better than hiring a floor sander because it changes your life. A floor sander just changes your floors.
Objection here. I had some facts and figures and some actual real dollar savings. I have to say, I do like Juanita's ideas. I think, that it's so important to be present when you're exchanging money. But how much are we talking about in savings? I feel like, Michael, you're lacking some important facts. Wouldn't you agree, Sean?
Well, yeah, it's a bit tricky. I mean, who actually has to do the floor sanding? Does that mean I have to do the floor sanding?
I'm actually doing it. I'm really quite excited. Could be a complete disaster, but I'm going to have fun.
I like the idea of hiring stuff, and we do it on lounges and stuff like that. We hire the cleaner from Bunnings rather than get someone to come and do it professionally, and I think you do just as good a job. However, Canna, I think for the majority of people, the better hack this time around is the mindfulness one. Just the fact that when you're going, it would drive me crazy what is being suggested, but I do agree that you wouldn't spend as much money because you would have to think about every transaction. So, as much as it hurts me, Michael, you win.
You hurt me.
You've made the right decision today, Sean.
Oh, Canna. I'm so sorry.
Thank you very much, Sean, for being so thoughtful and well considered. I've been critical of your judging behind your back in the past.
And in front of me. And in front of me.
Yes, I mean that too as well. But this week, I applaud you. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Canna.
And thank you, Canna.
Come on, Canna. Be generous. Be generous, Canna. You just
coping.
no. I'm sorry, Canna. You're going to get marked down next week. Sorry. Poor behaviour.
That was the budget battle from How Do They Afford That? It is a bonus episode out each week. Send your own savings tips in. I've put the links in the show notes so that you can pick whether to send them to me, or you might choose for some unknown reason to send them to Canna, and it might be yours in the battle next week.